Hi, this is Brandy, and you're checking out YouKnowIGotSoul.com.
Oh, hi, Brandy. How's everything going with you?
Everything is going great.
Yes.
Everything is great. I can't complain. I'm really excited about the new single, the album, the fans, everything. I'm really excited about life in general right now.
I want to congratulate you on the single "Put It Down" with Chris Brown, which has gotten a lot of great reviews recently. At what point in the process of recording this album did you realize that this is the song that you wanted to come out with first? And was it an instant thing, or did you have to really think about it for a bit?
It was an instant thing for me because I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to do something with a little bit of shock value, or not so much where it's almost like, oh my God, that new song by Brandy is this, but I wanted it to be like, who is that? You know what I mean? I didn't want people to even know that it was me.
Yeah.
Because, when you've been gone for so long, I feel like to make an impact when you come back, especially in this industry, you have to do something to reinvent yourself and do something where people start to question and, like it and dislike it and then start to love it and, something to get them talking.
Yeah, definitely.
And plus, I like the song. I really like the song, the beat, and everything.
Yeah. And, has that always been the approach with you with your previous first singles from your previous albums? Has it always been like an instant feeling?
Not really, because like in the beginning of my career, I didn't really know. I just wanted to sing, so I didn't date, so the record company put out what they thought was best. The second album, I definitely had that feeling when I heard The Boy Is Mine, and when we decided that Monica should be on it, and when she confirmed that she wanted to do it, I was like, okay, this is a no-brainer. And then, the third, the fourth, and the fifth, I started to kind of lose my way on what I wanted people to hear from me, or how I wanted to sound, or I kind of lost my way a little bit. But I feel like I'm back on track now with the team that I'm with, and, I have more belief in what I'm doing.
Yeah. And
yeah.
In other interviews, you've mentioned that this album is going to have an R&B sound to it, whereas on your previous album, Human, it had more of a pop sound on it. So when you started working on this album, did you already have the mindset that you wanted this album to be R&B?
Yeah, because I felt like that's what was missing from Human was that R&B core. Like when people heard Rodney and our previous work, it was rooted in R&B. Of course, it had the crossover feel, but people were used to hearing, that good sound in R&B, and I went a different direction. Of course, I don't think it's any problem for artists to take chances and, take risks and do things different, but I think you have to remember where you come from, and I kind of felt that. And with this album, I wanted to definitely get back to the core, get back to what was working for me in the beginning, and stick to that and stay true to that.
And, you've worked with Sean Garrett along with a handful of other producers, and, you've mentioned that this album is going to have sort of a futuristic R&B sound to it. So, when you went into the studio with these producers to craft the sound for the album, were you telling the producers what direction you wanted to go into? Did you play records to producers that you had done with other producers, or did you just let them do what they normally do?
No. I just allowed, the creative process to take its course. Of course, everyone knew that that I wanted it to be rooted in R&B, but I didn't want it to sound like anything that I had ever done, but I just wanted it to be different. And it's funny because everything was organic, everything was authentic, and working with Sean Garrett, he had his own vision of how he thought that I should sound. He was like, this is what I want to hear Brandy sing, and I'm like, okay, well, let me hear it. That was like his introduction to the songs that he did with me, and I loved his work. And then with Rico Love, it was the same thing. Rico's so he knew exactly what I needed. And I loved his songs, and I loved what he did with me in the studio. And the same with Esther Dean and Frank Ocean. It was like allowing them to do what they felt they wanted to do for me, and I just happened to like it all. So
yeah,
it worked out in a good way.
Yeah. another album that you had which featured a futuristic sound is the Full Moon album, but you also had some great ballads on there. So do you think there's going to be any ballads on this album as well?
Yes, a lot. I did a lot of ballads with Rico, a lot of heartfelt ballads. One of the ballads that I love from him is called "Hardly Breathing," which is about, when you fall in love with someone and it ends up not working out. You basically you lose your breath. You basically can't hardly get over it. So I love that record. This other rather sexy record called "Paint These Walls" that I did with Rico is really, really dope. And I did another ballad with Sean Garrett called "Sick." It's a lot of ballads.
Oh,
It's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that. And speaking of your vocals, I've had a chance to speak with a lot of different producers and writers who have worked with you in the past, and they've all said the same thing about you, that you're the master at taking a demo of a song that they give you and really making it your own. Like, they tell me that when you get a song, you add your own flavor to the song. So can you just kind of take me through that process in the studio and how you kind of do all of that?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I try to make the song me. A lot of people out there, they demo songs for you, and they sound really, really good, and you want to sound just as good as they do. And I think the only way to do that is to make it your own, not try to copy what they've done, and just try to take the song and relate to it in your own way. And a lot of my style is the background and the ad-libs and really coming from that place. And I do that a lot. I love stacking background. That's like my favorite thing to do. I like actually singing backgrounds more than I do the lead.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that. So that's pretty much it. Just backgrounds and ad-libs.
Okay, definitely. And with each album that you've released, you've not only grown a lot as a person, but you've also grown a lot as a vocalist. So what do you like most about your voice?
Right now, I'm trying to accept that my voice is raspier than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And, my voice just changes throughout the years. At one point it was, clear with a little bit of rasp, and then it got raspier and raspier. Now it's just like raspy. It's like, okay. So I'm trying to get used to this. It's just like this all the time now. So
Yeah.
I liked it better when it was a little clearer, but this is my voice now, so I have to get used to it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's deeper too.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, it seems like with each album that you've put out, aside from the Aphrodisiac album, you've taken sort of like a 4-year hiatus to release each album. And I know that's probably been tough for you as an artist, but have there been any positives, with these 4-year hiatuses?
I don't like the 4-year hiatuses. If the fans don't like it, this business is now become so fast. I just feel like I need to go through things. I need to be inspired. I don't put out albums just to maintain visibility. You know what I mean? For me, it's really about a truth that I'm trying to express, and sometimes I need a minute to kind of go through things in my life and take time from myself and my daughter and, do other things. But this business is moving so quickly that now 4-year hiatuses, you can come back and have nobody even knows who you are anymore. So I know it's got to be a quicker thing for me, the quicker turnaround for me, with future albums. But those times for me were necessary. And plus I was, doing TV and all the other things while those hiatuses were taking place as well. So
Yeah.
But I know I gotta hurry up.
Yeah. Some of your fans were wondering if you ever thought about doing a mixtape or an EP, during the hiatuses to, because 4 years is a lot of time in between albums.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just hurry up. I would rather put an album together than to do anything else.
Okay.
But I have a lot of unreleased music that somehow gets leaked too. So I think that's a good thing. But I think if I take 4 years again, I'll put something out for free before then, because that's too long. It's not fair to them at all. So yeah, maybe a mixtape or something like that, where they won't have to wait for a long time.
Okay, cool.
They deserve it, because they're always down. They're
Yeah.
always there.
Yeah, definitely. And lastly, I just wanted to ask you, critics and fans both have dubbed your new album as your comeback album. Have you started looking at it that way, and how do you handle that kind of pressure?
I think I work well under pressure. For some reason, I work better when I feel a lot of pressure, and I work better when I feel a lot of fear. I don't know what that's about. But for me, it's just about coming back into my own, and that's fine. If people want to call it a comeback album, that's fine. I feel like, with Breon Prescott and my management, Rhonda Remby and the RCA, and I have the right team to really put the belief and the energy behind what I'm doing. So I feel like I'm prepared for all of that. People really have my back this time around, and so I feel like I'm equipped to come back in the right way. So I guess this is a album.
For sure, and that's all that I had for you. Is there anything that you'd like to add?
No, I just appreciate you guys, and I know I can tell from your questions you guys have been very supportive, so thank you for that.